Number 3, name 3 sources of carbon dioxide. Here are the most common sources of carbon dioxide. First of all, decomposition reactions. Decomposition reactions. Those include everything from breaking down your food to when something dies and decomposes. Everything from rotting to actual digestion. These are all decomposition reactions. Anything that breaks down molecules, decomposition reactions. Big source of carbon dioxide. Secondly, I would say the burning of fossil fuels. And the third biggest source would be volcanoes. Those are the 3 biggest sources of carbon dioxide. Decomposition reactions, the burning of fossil fuels, and volcanoes. How are we doing? Need me to repeat or slow down at all?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, number 4 says, what are some sources of oxygen? There are 2 main sources of oxygen. One is plants, and the other is algae. A-L-G-A-E. Algae. A-L-G-A-E. Plants and algae, the 2 big types of photosynthesizing organisms. Number 5, what role does carbon dioxide play in plant life processes? Well, carbon dioxide is a raw material for photosynthesis, or you might say a reactant for photosynthesis, whatever way you're more comfortable expressing it. Carbon dioxide is a raw material or reactant for photosynthesis. Number 6 asks, what process in animal cells requires oxygen? The whole reason that you breathe is to get in oxygen so that you can do cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. That's what you need oxygen for. And number 7, why are these processes referred to as a cycle? Well, the products of one process are the reactants of the other. The products of one process are the reactants of the other. So they're a cycle. Photosynthesis is making glucose and oxygen, using carbon dioxide and water to make glucose and oxygen. Cellular respiration uses glucose and oxygen and produces carbon dioxide and water. So they're kind of like the flip side of each other. All right, those are the questions for the carbon dioxide oxygen cycle. We okay so far?
Yeah.
We've got 5 minutes left. We might just do this. All right. Number 8, what's the source of energy behind the carbon cycle? It's that big yellow thing in the sky that came out midway through the morning. That would be the sun. Please don't write the big yellow thing that came out in the sky halfway through the morning. Sun is the ultimate source of energy for everything on Earth. Number 9, what is the food-producing process in plants? Somebody tell me, what's the food-producing process in plants?
Photosynthesis.
Correctamundo, photosynthesis it is. Photosynthesis literally means making with light. Photosynthesis for number 9, good. Number 10, what is the chemical equation for this process? Maybe I better write this guy in the chat here in case you don't know it off the top of your head. Be a good idea to get it into your head because you are going to have to memorize it for this chapter. So I'm going to write it in the chat here just because it's easier than saying. I don't know how to make an arrow. I'm going to put an equal sign, but no, yeah, I'll put an equal sign, but I don't know how to make an arrow. It should be an arrow. There you go. Ryan's a lot faster of a typer than I am, obviously. I'm still up to 602. There we go. I almost made it, Ryan. Good. And you got the arrow in there. So Ryan's answer is better than mine. 6 carbon dioxide plus 6 water yields 1 glucose plus 6 diatomic oxygen. Nice job. All right. Which substance is the byproduct of this process? Well, I got to tell you, the plant is doing this to make food for itself. Glucose is the thing that it wants to make. The byproduct or waste product is the oxygen. The oxygen is the garbage from the plant. Number 12, what greenhouse gas is given off during decomposition? That would be carbon dioxide, big time. There are other greenhouse gases that are given off as well, but the point of this is the carbon dioxide. Number 13, how have humans added excess amounts of this gas to the atmosphere? That would be our burning of fossil fuels. And last but not least, where does the carbon in fossil fuels come from? It comes from the bodies of dead organisms. That's what our fossil fuels are. Our oil, coal, and natural gas, those are dead things that have been buried for millions of years. Number 11, this byproduct of photosynthesis is oxygen. How are we doing? Miss any more? Anything I can help with? All right. All right. So, how you guys okay? Anything I can do for you? Questions I can answer? I'm almost done grading your tests.
Test.
All right. Well, you have a lovely day then, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
When did I have a test? Wait. Oh, never mind. Okay. So I have a 5-minute break where I can eat my lunch. Probably should have eaten lunch when it was lunchtime, but I'm much too lazy. So, I'm having some noodles.
faces when you join. Oh, we got clouds today. All right, I'm not even paying attention. Hold on. Important things like changing our background. That's like the most important thing. Clouds.
Oh, then you have to be faster if you want the beach.
Nice.
Trying to.
You have to put it on like right before you get into the call. So when you get
I
in,
was trying to do it.
She's right. You got to get it before you join. It is about the fast finger work. You got to be like, you got to go fast. It is true. I love the clouds. Colin looks like he's floating in them. Look at him. He just rode by. Go ahead, Colin. Fly by again. You want to go? That's so funny. I'm sorry. I find humor in the silliest things. Oh, that is so funny. How is everybody? Everybody's good? We're going to read today. Actually, I'm going to read today, and you guys are going to listen. So that's good stuff. I got to get some reads. So today's goal, and I'm just going to get motoring because we still are missing people, but these short meets are so short. So let me just get right into it. So we have to get into Mice and Men. The goal for today is I'm going to read up to page 14 on the PDF. So we left off on page 7, which I'm going to get there in a minute. So if you have the novel, it's page 6. So I'm going to sail right through to 14 in the PDF. I don't know what page the book is, but you'll see when I stop. Just a couple things I want to just bring to your attention. Again, sorry you guys are just signing on like with the work, but these meets are so short. We met George and Lenny. We know that Lenny has a mental disability. And by the way, I looked that up and like what the correct terminology is for somebody like Lenny. So what came up on Google, it was either mentally disabled or intellectually disabled is the politically correct way to talk about somebody like Lenny. So those are the terms we're going to use. And they change all the time, but we always want to make sure we're up to what everybody's saying out of respect. So right now it's either mentally disabled or intellectually disabled. Seems to be the appropriate way to address it. So where's it going with this whole thing? Oh, so tomorrow's journal is going to ask you to think about how we should handle the intellectually and mentally disabled in the criminal justice system when they commit crimes. Should they be prosecuted? Should they be treated differently? Should they be treated the same way? You're going to see today why. We're going to learn a little bit more about Lenny's history. That's all I'm going to say. So if you don't have any questions, we're going to read. And then we're going to also learn a little bit more about George and Lenny and how they got connected, how they, wind up traveling together. All right. So I'm going to jump right in, guys. So if you have books, open up to page 6. The rest of us are just hopping on to page 8. I'll show you where we left off. All right, so this is right. We're on the bottom of 7 on the PDF. Again, you can look at mine or you can open up your own tab. It's fine. And like I said, on Friday,